Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Droid Life Show, episode 17. I'm your host, Kellen. Rest of the team here as well. Ron, Eric, and Tim. Everybody say hi real quick.
What up, thugs?
Hey.
Hola.
What up, thugs? We gotta
switch it up.
I know you gotta switch it up. We got a lot to talk about. One of the biggest show scripts we've had, I think, ever. There's so much going on right now. We got Samsung's event coming up for the Galaxy S4. The HTC One stuff going on there as that phone approaches. We want to talk about it a little bit more. Google's all over the place. They might be scared of Samsung or worried about their power. Music streaming service, I/O registration date. Google Glass all over the place. The Pixel. Kind of got a lot of Google stuff. Then we got Mobile World Congress going on all week. We'll talk about that briefly, what's come out of there. Falcon Pro and Twitter limits. We'll discuss that maybe a little bit. We got some favorite apps, all that stuff. But we want to start off and just remind everyone that this week we're doing 5 days of Nexus, 5 of them, giving away Nexus devices every single day. On Monday we did a Nexus 4, the Nexus 7 yesterday, another Nexus 7 today, another Nexus 7 tomorrow, and then Friday we're probably either going to do a Nexus 4 or Nexus 10. Haven't fully decided. We might put a poll up there to see what you guys want more. So anyway, make sure you enter those. Obviously, they're free to enter, easy to enter. Some of them just involve, dropping a comment or something like that. So anyway, jump into those 5 days of Nexus. But let's talk about Samsung event, right? So MWC is going on this week. And, a couple of companies announced some stuff. And then Samsung goes, we're just going to steal your thunder. And we're going to announce our Galaxy S4 event. It's happening in New York on March 14th, I believe, and it's going to just take over the tech world for the entire, actually probably from now going forward, everyone's going to be talking about it, trying to figure out details, leaks, all of that stuff. It's going to be awesome. Do you guys want to just share your thoughts on the Galaxy S4 launch? And first of all, I just can't believe that it's happening this soon. In the past, it's always been like in May, I believe, so March is pretty damn early. So I don't know. Anybody thoughts on the Galaxy S4 event?
Should I go first? Galaxy S4 event. Well, just like everyone else, I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm almost worried about with all the talks of this Google stuff going on. I kind of hope they don't blow HTC completely out of the water, just because I like the One, and I kind of want to get it. But then again, the S4, of course, it's probably going to be amazing. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we can sort of talk about the One a little bit with this, just because I have this feeling that the One's just going to fail miserably because of this S4 event. It's going to come out, so the One's going to come out sort of March-ish, mid-March, late March, and Samsung goes, okay, that's nice. We're going to announce our phone 2 days or the week before your phone's going to come out, and we'll see if anybody wants it after that. I don't know, do you guys have any thoughts on that?
I think it's interesting. Sorry if I just ripped everyone off. I just thought it was interesting because we were talking about the One and how HTC has been talking about bringing in more of a marketing campaign for it. And the only type of marketing I've seen for it is through their Twitter. And I'm sorry, that's not spending money to advertise your new product or anything like that. That's a free service that you're doing. It's just weak. And yes, I think the Galaxy will shadow it. But yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ron and Eric.
I think we'll see HTC step up their marketing once the actual phone comes out. But
yeah,
up until this point, I think they're going to concede to Samsung, and then once people can actually go out and get their hands on it, then we'll probably start seeing some commercials. I don't know. I can't think of an HTC commercial off the top of my head. You think Samsung or Apple or even Motorola, and you can think of some iconic commercials that they've done, but I can't think of any that HTC.
There are none.
Well, HTC with the One had that skydiving commercial
Right.
I saw 1,000 times.
Enough.
Yeah, that's the one that comes to mind for me. But
Oh,
other than
they had
that, I
that
don't know.
Was that on TV?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Never even saw it. That's
And then
news.
the one that I remember, the one with the goat kicking the guy's backpack off the cliff,
Oh, yeah.
that was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, that was good too.
But those are
forgot
the
about
only
that.
two I can ever think of.
Anything involving a goat.
Oh, that's instant viral right there.
Speaking of viral and goats, did anyone see the Taylor Swift spoof with the goat in it today? That video.
No, but my little sister-in-law told
No,
me
I
to look
didn't.
at it.
Yeah, I heard about it, but then I heard about goats talking like people, and that sounded kind of funny too.
This was just a goat wailing during it. It's funny.
Yeah, it's for what song is that? I Knew You Were Trouble.
Yeah, I knew you were a goat as soon
boy.
as you walked in or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The best song on that album.
I have no idea, but
I wanna
the
know.
video's hilarious.
Ron.
Not that I know. No, I didn't leave RDO for Taylor Swift.
Ron, what do you think about Samsung doing this like right on the doorstep, basically, of the One coming out?
It's not super surprising. I mean, I think if Samsung's going to expect any one manufacturer to really go toe to toe with them, it's going to be HTC. HTC has been a major manufacturer for a while. They've just fallen on hard times lately. Google picked them for the first two Android device. Well, the Dream and then the Nexus One. So they had a good partnership going on for a while, and HTC was a major partner with Microsoft through Windows Mobile and certainly still to some degree with Windows Phone. So I think that there's nothing was coming out of Mobile World Congress. I think Samsung was maybe holding off just in case, but there really wasn't anything big coming out of there. So I think that's why. Whether or not they'll actually be able to pull it off, I don't know. I mean, I'm still not totally convinced that the One X would have done as bad if it hadn't gotten stuck in customs when it first came over because of the patent litigation.
That's right.
So I think that had a huge impact because otherwise, it was going to be on Sprint and AT&T, and I think both of them were stuck in customs for at least a few weeks, which has an impact. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if HTC if they can get advertisements out there and get people excited about one device. They don't have to worry about which one of the One series they need to get. They're just doing the One, which yes, it's going to be confusing for forever to figure out what anybody's talking about.
Yes, it is.
But I think HTC still has a shot. I mean, the One we really should change that name. That phone, the newest one that they came out with. It's got good specs, and I think despite the horrible naming schemes that came out with stuff like Boom Sound, which I still really love. I think it's a compelling device. I think people will be excited about it. I think it's got a shot. So I don't think Samsung necessarily has to keep holding everything down and be winning everybody's hearts with the S4. It's possible they'll still keep it up and still be number one, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel like HTC has to outmarket Samsung or something like that. It's almost like they're deliberately doing this because they know the One's coming out. It just seems so early. Maybe the phone really is that ready and they're just ready to do it, but just to do it like a week or so before the One comes out, HTC's going to have one hell of a battle on their hands. But maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need someone to just sort of attack them like that, and they'll come out swinging. Great marketing campaign. They'll sell Boom Sound all over the place. and Samsung want everything to match HTC Zoe. I don't know.
I don't know if HTC already did it, but like Samsung, if any of you marketing people are out there listening, you guys should just have like your campaign and say, this is the one you've been waiting for or something like that, and just totally kill HTC. But yeah.
You're the one that I want.
You're the one that I want.
If they spend the money on the song, get a catchy song, I mean, that could work.
Not that one. Not the one I just did. That's not catchy.
No, I kind of want to have a commercial with you doing just that, like just a recording of you doing that.
Just going back and forth.
Looped over and over. Maybe a goat. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
A goat, John Travolta on HTC One, and
It'll go viral.
Oh yeah.
That does go viral.
And Tim.
Yeah.
And
So the Samsung event, March 14th in New York City at Radio City Music Hall. It'll be streamed live too. We'll have lots of coverage on it. We'll be there hopefully to get all sorts of time at the phone. It should be fun. Definitely. I mean, it's sort of the device of the year. I mean, we don't know how good it's going to be, but it's like for Android, it's like the iPhone, and it's the phone we wait to come out. So it should be fun. Let's talk about Google though. Still with Samsung a little bit. And the story that came out that through the Wall Street Journal that apparently they're sort of worried about Samsung and the power they have over just the Android platform. Maybe they're too powerful now, too big, and that they, bought Motorola as sort of an insurance measure in case Samsung got too big, so they had somebody to fall back on to make really big as well. It was sort of an interesting story. Ron, I know you had a piece today on it. Do you want to just talk about sort of just your opinion in general on this whole story that came out of the Wall Street Journal?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think, so the gist of it was that because Samsung had such a big piece and the numbers that they have compared to every other OEM, it's pretty astounding. So if you guys haven't taken a look at the Wall Street Journal piece, I think it's behind a paywall now. I was able to read the whole thing yesterday.
Always was, but yep.
Okay, I was reading it at a Starbucks and I was able to see the whole thing. So maybe go to a Starbucks. Maybe they have.
Well, because if you go to Starbucks, you get 15 free articles or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I was reading that today.
Yeah, but that was with New York Times. But I think WSJ already had that. I think.
Yeah. So go to Starbucks and read the whole thing.
There you go.
But
shout out to Starbucks.
Yeah.
This is the world we live in, people. You can't even read the news without going to Starbucks. What is this?
That's embarrassing.
That's crazy.
It's pretty sad. But yeah, so go visit your local Starbucks and read the Wall Street Journal. And you know, the article just kind of outlines that you know, because Samsung has such a big piece, according to sources familiar with the matter. He actually said people familiar with the matter, and then later would reference the people, which I thought was really awkward phrasing, but probably according to their guidebook everybody has around. But anyway, the idea is that supposedly, like you mentioned, Google bought Motorola just in case one manufacturer got too powerful, which maybe that's why they did it. Maybe it was for the patents. Maybe it was because Motorola was threatening to sue all the other manufacturers. Who knows? Google didn't really seem to know when they actually announced it or anything else like that. But this core here is that Samsung, because they're so big, might start demanding to get more advertising revenue. So there were some people in the comments that are a little confused about that. So the way that Samsung would be demanding money from Google is the way that Google makes money is through ads. And so as more and more people are viewing ads and using Google services on mobile devices, that means Google's making more money through those mobile devices. Samsung has 40% of them. So in theory, Samsung can make an argument that they deserve more of that money. Samsung's also getting a free operating system that brought them from nowhere to being this killer OEM. So in the article, I just kind of talked about that, how, if you look back at Samsung back in 2008, 2009, they were nothing until the Galaxy S, which came out in 2010. Before then, you can look at all the devices. They had the Omnia devices for Windows Mobile. They had a few Android phones, and they all stunk.
Oh, they were terrible, yeah. Terrible.
So, so they've become this huge powerhouse, and so it's just kind of this issue of, okay, if they're going to stick with, if the tension continues to rise, would Samsung possibly consider leaving? And so I just kind of outlined just some of the possibilities. I originally thought about doing a choose your own adventure, but we maybe would have gotten in trouble with that. So maybe one day we'll do something like that. But just kind of outlining just the different possibilities of, hey, if Google gives in, what else are they going to have to do to kind of maintain that? And so in the Wall Street Journal article, they kind of allude to this idea that, apparently Google is talking to people at Mobile World Congress, other manufacturers, to see what they can do to help them out. But anything that they do, whether it's giving them earlier access to Android by expanding the Nexus program or building more into Motorola, those are all things that they've kind of said they weren't going to do. Specifically building up Motorola and that kind of thing. And Samsung, they do have the option of, if they wanted to leave, there's all sorts of issues with that, with, people have bought into Android apps and bought into the Google ecosystem and everything else like that. So could they pull that off? Possibly, if they moved some of their services, switched over to Microsoft services and for search and maps and that kind of thing, and then did Amazon's App Store, which I'm sure Amazon would be okay with. So there's an option, there's a road that they could take. So and in the article I said I don't think that that's likely to happen, but it's a possibility, and I'm sure it's something that Samsung is weighing, and something that they need to consider if they want to continue to be successful and if they want to make more money. At the end of the day, these companies want to make more money, and if Samsung thinks they can make more money without Google, they'll do it. Companies do that constantly. So.
It's an interesting idea to think that Google goes, here's our free software, do with it as you please, and then Samsung takes it and does whatever they want with it and becomes so big that they could come back and go, thanks for the free software, we want money now because we're using your free software. That just seems ridiculous to me. But the point you made about the Google services, I think that's really key, and the apps and all that stuff. So they've created this whole Galaxy brand, and people have bought into the brand, and if they were to change that and all of a sudden cut off everyone's access to Google Play and Gmail and all those services, people would throw a massive fit. So I almost don't think they can do it just because of that. So unless they find a way, or they create something like Apple's done, where Google still supports them with Gmail apps and things like that, I don't see any way that Samsung can do it.
Yeah, and Google might try and pull that off if they, said, hey, okay, we're gonna license those out to you for a fee or something like that, which would be a way for Google to keep making money and Samsung not to lose a customer base. But at that point, it's like, well, it'd be a weird move for them. And both companies have a ton of money that they could lose if those negotiations go sour. So they definitely need each other. But if anybody can do without the other, I think it's Samsung at this point. It'd be a tough road, and they'd have to do something like I mentioned in the article, where they would maybe have to refund people apps so they could get the same apps that they've already paid for, and all that, which would be a horrible disaster and nightmare, and probably make people do it over keys or something. But there are ways for them to accomplish that and probably still keep a lot of market share. And if they do that, even if they kept half of it, that's still significant. Having one manufacturer having 20, that puts them still in Apple's range, and that just then that splits up the rest of that 20 with other manufacturers that aren't doing well still. So it's interesting.
It's definitely interesting. Tim?
Yeah, just some people were like, well, why would Samsung be asking for more money from Google, blah, blah, blah. I mean, and here we have Samsung making Google like a truckload of money all the time, and it's been growing more and more with Samsung selling more devices because you have Samsung pushing Google services. So I think, if there's more Samsung devices out in the world and that are making Google more money than what they were doing at first, then I don't think it's a problem for Samsung to kind of ask for more money, basically. I don't see that being really an issue. And if Google really didn't want to pay out, then yeah, I could see Google having more of a problem than Samsung in that case. But I think Samsung should ask for more money if they really want it. Screw it.
I just think it's crazy to think that they could turn around and ask Google for money. But if they're so big and they're like, hey, we're the reason your Android platform's this big, maybe they should get something. But again, Google's giving them this stuff for free, and they're handing it to them.
Right, but it was part of the article that they were making 10% of online ad revenues through Android. So if Samsung, say, wants 15 or 20, because we're the only ones actually selling this OS at the moment, then that's not really... That sounds fair to me. It sounds like, I don't know.
The only major hole in Samsung's argument, if they were to say, hey, we deserve more money because we've built up Android, is if you pull Samsung out of the equation, who knows, it could have been HTC, it could have been, ZTE, it could have been anybody that could have been the top, could have been Motorola for all we know, that changes everything dramatically if you don't have phones like the Galaxy S and Galaxy S2 really, really doing well. So it's hard to say that they're the only reason. There are so many other factors that built into that.
Yeah. And for everyone saying I love Sammy, of course I love Sammy. But I love all Android OEMs except for Huawei.
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 We'll talk about them later. Actually, I want to talk about ZTE later too, because their shenanigans stuff that went down.
Damn spies.
I did read an article today that talked about Android back alley meeting, Google back alley meetings at MWC, and I think CNET said that they met with somebody and they said once again that there's still the firewall between Motorola and Google and the Android team, so they're really trying to keep it separate and all that stuff. It was nothing new, but it was just them reiterating that fact. So I just thought that was so. Just because they Andy Rubin apparently said that they bought Motorola as an insurance measure, but I don't know that I totally buy that.
That was such an interesting thing for him to say, of all people. That's just like, why? I don't know. I don't like Andy being part of the business aspect of Google and Android. Like, just stick to, making Android awesome. Like, you should just not even talk about business. Because then you make me look bad because he's putting out, opinions on if people are buying stuff offline or not. Yeah, people are buying crap offline. And then people call me an Andy Rubin lover and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever, dude.
And a Sammy lover and all this stuff.
Didn't they think you had something in your mouth that was Andy Rubin's?
Yeah, that something belonged to Andy Rubin and it just happened to be in my mouth because I was agreeing with him. That's such crap. Whatever. People are so crazy.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens over the next year or so if Samsung continues to grow and get crazy. We'll see what happens. What Google's next move is. I think now. Oh, go ahead, Eric.
That Tizen, I don't know how you pronounce it. Tizen.
I think it's Tizen. I'm not
Tizen.
sure.
Tizen operating system. That's pretty scary to see how far Samsung is invested in that. I think they're keeping that as a parachute, in their backpack just in case they do get to the point where they want to peace out.
A parachute in their backpack.
Yeah. Worst comes to worst, they're gonna pull the ripcord and they're gonna be out. And
That's what I thought.
Oh,
When I
no.
first saw it, I was like, oh man, they made the reference device and all that?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
That
I
It
could
is
easily
interesting.
see them investing in that and then using that as their operating system to put in your stupid refrigerator and your microwave and all that kind of stuff. So everything
Because
talks
it's so
to each other.
simplistic. I mean, you could just, a baby could operate Tizen at this point.
Tizen looks terrible. I hated all over that yesterday.
It just looks like iOS, man. I mean,
Well,
like,
it does.
it was like, so it has, you know, the single home button, it's got all your apps right on the home screen, and then a pull down for your notifications. I was like, man, this looks familiar. And of course, everyone else noticed. It was like, oh, that's iOS. It's like, I mean, well, how else can you make an iOS look these days? But an OS look these days? But
What else is Samsung good at than
copying.
Really? I mean, they came out
They're
with
good at
that.
marketing.
They came out with that wallet
That's
app
true.
today that just looks like Passbook.
Yep.
I mean, it's yeah. Some of the stuff they do is pretty embarrassing.
It's
Well,
frustrating.
they have a long S voice. I mean, they've got a long list of things. Their calendar app
Yeah.
looks basically identical, except for it's slightly more skeuomorphic.
Yeah.
It just even after all the like lawsuits and stuff, it still continues to copy everything that Apple does, which is really
It's
weird.
amazing.
It's amazing. Let's talk about Google's music streaming service for a second. I didn't really pay that much attention to this, Tim. I think you were on this, weren't you? What do we need to know
all
about
over it.
Google's music streaming service?
Well, I'll let Eric go because he started it, and then I'll go on. Eric, can you just kind of give the
Yeah,
basic
I
outline
mean-
of Google Music service?
Basic outline is that reports say that Google has been in talks with the record labels to, get a streaming service working, and
The
it's
big ones too, the big four.
Yeah, like
Universal, Virgin,
yeah.
whatever.
So it's. I mean, these aren't. If these reports are true, these aren't any small talks. They're looking to make a move. So what are you giggling about over there?
The chat.
The
She's
chat.
looking at the chat.
Damn you, Andy Rubin. So either way.
Okay, I see that now.
So today,
That's pretty good.
an industry or a music industry executive kind of came out. He's the head of Universal for UK, and so he was like, "Yes, we want Google Music because Google already has a connection to hundreds of millions of people who use YouTube and serve as Google Search and all that. So yes, if we can translate those hundreds of millions of users into paying subscribers, then that's fantastic. But also, they just wanted to point out that Google needs to be on check when it comes to anti-piracy
Yeah.
and making sure that people aren't finding naughty torrents and all that illegal stuff. They want legal means of accessing artists' music, which
Yeah,
I'm all about.
It makes sense that idea that they have all these subscribers to services like YouTube and stuff already. All they would have to do is say, hey, $10 a month, and all these music industry people have signed up on Spotify and stuff, right? Why would they not sign up on Google saying, let's do it? It makes
And
sense.
from what I hear, people don't make anything off of Spotify. So if Google can even give them, a tiny bit more than what they're making off of Spotify, I don't see why they wouldn't sign on.
Yeah, I think also people missed out. Spotify is a free service, but then you can also choose to pay for it. And it was going to be the same for the Google Music subscription service. There's a free one with ads. You use it just like Spotify, but then there would also be the on-demand where you can pay and have access to whatever you want with no ads. So people were like, yeah, if the price is right, I'll use it. And I'm like, dude, it's going to be free. So, but then, with ads. So, I mean, pretty much that's just because I'm totally Google fanboy all the way. Anything they touch is awesome in my book because I know it's going to work awesome with all of my devices and my account and all that. So when you're heavily invested into an environment or ecosystem, that Google has created, it's going to be a win-win for music lovers such as myself. Oh, yeah.
And this fuels right into their hopes of making channels on YouTube being paid for at some point too.
That pisses me off, but yeah, probably. Yeah,
Oh,
because
it's
I'm
coming.
not going to pay for Ray William Johnson cat videos. I'm just not going to do it. I don't know, I thought about it. I was like, yeah, there are people who would pay, say, 99 cents for an episode of, a really well-produced YouTube video or something like that, but not me. I will not pay for anything on YouTube. Because I've been there. I've been there since the OG days.
But that's definitely going to happen. They're going to start, like you said, Ray William Johnson's going to start doing like premium episodes where you get the full episode. You're going to have to pay like $1 or subscribe for $10 a month. It's going to happen. It sucks, but it's going to happen.
Definitely. I can see that.
And who are we to deny them money, right?
Watch all the YouTube you can while it's free.
Yeah, really.
I forgot that you can kind of, from your phone, you can get into all the info that Google has, like, stored on you, like all the songs, all the emails, like everything that they keep, kind of like you in a little profile. I just forgot, I was like looking through it and I was like, look at all this info they have. I mean, they have so much dirt on me, they could ruin me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Google knows you better than anyone else.
Than I know myself.
Google's basically the FBI.
Yeah. I have no secrets.
No, you don't. Google knows everything about you.
Yeah, so it's crazy.
All right, let's talk about Google I/O just really quickly. We got a registration date, March 13th. I believe that's correct. And if you're not a student, it's $900 to register for Google I/O. If you're a student, $300 bucks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that happens March 13th. Who knows if this thing's going to hold up and actually allow people to register like normal services. It's crashed for the last 3 years, 2 years, 3 years. So
3 years?
Yeah, we'll see.
2 years.
Yeah, that should be fun. March 13th, though. Put that on your calendars if you want to go to I/O.
Everyone get all your devices lined up and then hit refresh right at 7 a.m.
At the same time.
And it's going to happen again. I mean, we keep thinking that they're going to fix this problem, but I think they like it. They love it. They're like, we love watching this. This is great.
What did it last year? It sold out in like a minute, right? Something like that. Or
Yeah.
like
Well, we knew the
10
site
minutes?
was officially down in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, but then you have to remember, like,
they get
you're
to
given
sit
a
there.
specific token. So it's like, as long as you don't do something, like, don't clear your cache in your browser, you're like given a specific token. Even if the site goes down, you have 24 hours to like go back and get it or something like that. So, yeah, good luck.
They get to sit there and watch people scramble to throw money at them. Like, how are they not going to enjoy that?
Yeah. And as far as we know, it's still at Moscone, right? So it's not like there's more seats or more tickets. It's going to be the same amount.
No,
It'll
same
probably
amount.
sell out really fast, yeah. I was trying to look. We wrote up last year how fast it sold out. And
I think it was
Quickly.
like 15 minutes or something like that.
Dude, what are they going to give away? Because now there's like the Pixel, Google Glass. There is some hot-ish on the streets right now. I want it all. I want it all.
Sold
Like,
out
it's going to be awesome. 20 minutes?
28, yeah.
20. Oh, 20. That's not bad.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Google Glass, right? That's what we have next is it's going to be available this year, apparently, for under $1,500. I feel bad for the developers that are all like, sign up, $1,500. I want this thing early. And then in like November, they're going to go, here it is for $900 or something like that. And all those developers have like the pre-production model that was $1,500 and sucks. Right? I mean, I sort of feel bad. So, I don't know. You guys going to buy Google Glass when it comes out?
Probably.
Like,
No.
what, like say it's $600. Say it's the same price as a phone. You're gonna buy Google
Definitely.
Glass.
Definitely.
I'm getting a bunch of no's. Tim and I were talking about this last week, and I was hating all over this. I've been hating all over a lot lately, actually.
He's been really negative.
I haven't.
Has it been hard for you, Tim?
It actually, it kind of is, because I always have to argue my point, like, dude, Google Glass or Chromebook Pixel.
Oh yeah, and I'm
Do you sound high when you make all your arguments?
Yeah.
He does sound like he does sound like that. And I'm the worst person to argue with because I'm one of those people that like has a point, and I'm like, no, this is the point. But Google Glass, for even if it's $1,000, there's no way in hell I'm gonna buy this thing and walk around the streets of anywhere with that. I could sit at home in my cave troll ways and like watch TV with it or something and like nod so I don't have to pick up my phone. Like I could see it using them, but I don't want to walk around and like with Google Glass on my head. I just don't. Even if it's got the cool little menu like we saw in that video from last week.
Looks hot, man. Looks hot.
Unless they make this $200 and everyone can buy it
It's
and
not gonna
everyone
be
can walk.
200.
I know, but that's the thing. So no one's gonna have it, and everywhere you go, everyone's gonna stare at you and go, "What the hell is that guy wearing on his head?" And
Yeah,
you're gonna go, Google Glass, this is cool. And they're going to go, that's actually not that cool. You're spying on me right now. And I'm going to go, I'm trying not to. But
I'd be like, yes. Okay, Glass. Shoot.
I just shot a picture of Sergey wearing it at his TED Talk in the chat.
oh, yeah.
Take a look at that. He looks pretty ridiculous.
Where at?
Sergey.
In
Sergey.
IRC.
Sergey
Yeah.
has like a special model that's like wired into his brain. I think
It's
like,
some weird, right?
like he
He's the
hasn't taken it
bionic
off.
man.
Yeah, he has not taken that thing off in 2 years.
It doesn't even look like he showered in a few days.
Right. There's something weird going on there.
Whoa,
Dude,
okay, so
yeah.
his almost looked like they're definitely in the way of his sight.
Right,
You know?
right.
And what I liked about what they said, it's not going to be in your way. It's just going to kind of be there, hovering. But his look like they're just he's like a cyborg,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I think
But-
Sergey Brin is half cyborg. I mean, the
Yeah,
guy's
he's a
like
bionic
half
man.
robot. He really is.
Android is keeping him alive right now.
Did you
He's
guys see
a lo-
that TMZ video with his wife wearing it to the Oscar party? that we
That was
That
awkward.
was pretty good.
So, all right. So, did you see when like the camera zoomed in on her and she was like, "Okay, Glass," and you could see her like doing something with Glass, and she was looking at the camera, but she was really looking like sort of up, and she just had this like
that's gonna be
robotic
really
stare.
creepy.
That's what's going to be like. She just had this like robotic death stare into the camera, but she wasn't really looking at the camera. She was looking at her Glass. It's going to be really awkward. Really awkward. I see someone already brought up sex tape. Oh, Andy Rubin's Private Parts did, of course.
I just think, and Sergey Brandy's a little bit more handsome than Andy Rubin, but either way, I digress.
I don't know where that came from. But, I mean, so all right. So if it was, $200, maybe even $300, you guys still no way in hell you wouldn't buy it. You're not down with it.
I've got real glasses to wear, and
Oh, now it's
I'm
300.
not gonna-
Yeah,
I'm not going to wear
it's
them.
gonna
over.
work with your prescription glasses, man.
There's
Yeah,
no
they can
way
wear
that
the
they're going
top,
to fit
yeah.
onto this. No,
I'm with you.
it's not going to work.
If they worked inside of glasses that looked like yours, Eric, like normal looking glasses, and it was just a screen in your lens, I'd be
Yeah.
totally down for that. But I don't want this neon blue, sky blue thing on the side of my head with no lens in the other side. I don't want it.
I'm calling this right now, people. So they're gonna come out with like an all white one, and it's gonna look kind of cool. And Kellen's gonna jump all over. Oh, these white ones are hot.
Just like that, huh?
anything white.
Yeah.
Anything white, he'll love it.
Anything white. I mean, they're gonna come out. They're gonna come out with the black version, which will
Of
look
course.
semi-normal. I just keep making fun of the neon orange and sky blue and all that.
I like the blue. It looks
I
nice.
think it's just something. It's something
looks nice,
completely
but-
different, and it's it's innovative. And I would love to just try it out. And if like Google doesn't send out reviews or anything like that, then I'll totally just buy it just so I can like have it and try it out and start being the change I wish to see in the world.
Just make sure you know whatever the return policy is on it.
Definitely.
There isn't one.
There probably isn't one either
Yeah,
because it's
just
gonna like
kidding, no
touch your ear.
returns.
Yeah, it's gonna like touch your ear, and they'll go, "No, you're void."
Earwax. No, thank you.
Yeah, it looks cool. I want to try it. I know I'm
Yeah, I'd love to
talking
try it.
trash. I want to try it, but I don't think I want to buy one or make it a part of my daily life. I just
That's
don't
the-
think I do.
The longest link I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
That is a long
I'm
link.
not clicking that.
What is that? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a trap.
I think
It's a
it is
trap.
a.
It's a try.
Oh, it's Dragon Ball Z or something. You
it's
can see it in
Dragon
the.
Ball, yeah.
But I think it is. I think it is a good first step.
It's over
you know,
9,000. Okay.
shocker. The first smartphones that we saw didn't look good either, and we probably wouldn't want to be seen in public with those either at this point. So I mean, I think it's a good first step. I think wearable technology is the future. It's just a matter of implementing that in a way that actually isn't like on top of your eyeball.
Yeah.
Right. That isn't on half of your head with
Yeah.
a weird like nose piece and lens over here. It just looks weird.
I mean, think about the first cell phones. They're huge. You don't want to be seen in public with that either. So it'll take time.
Like the Note 2. Oh, dig it.
Oh, got him.
Why are you guys hating?
I don't know. Are you still using the Note 2 or did you change it up? Still got it?
Still
Oh,
got
look
it.
at that.
Why would I stop?
So
Alright, we gotta move on.
Glass. Yeah, Google Glass this year under $1,500, which could mean $1,450 for all we know. Yeah. Anyway, in other Google news, how about the Chromebook Pixel, the $1,300 Chromebook with apparently the greatest hardware on earth and an amazing super high resolution touchscreen that it's better than the Retina MacBooks and all that stuff. It's $1,300 if you want the Wi-Fi version, and then if you want the LTE version, it's like $1,450 or something like that, a couple $100, which gives you some more storage, I believe, and LTE. What do you guys think? Just dying to hear opinions on that one.
That Chromebook officially costs more than my car, so that's nice. So it looks really sweet. that display, I don't know if that would justify a $1,300 price tag. And I think the screen, being touch and high resolution is kind of the only thing really going for it. Processor specs are nothing too crazy to go over.
Yeah.
But someone pointed out, it gives you a terabyte of Google Drive storage, and 3 years, right? 1 terabyte, and that alone is $1,800 value. So technically, it's like you're buying a terabyte at a good price and getting a free Pixel, if you want to look at it that way.
Just one Pixel.
But what happens at the end of 3 years, though? Or is Google going to do like they've done with some of their services and just keep extending it out free? Or are you just going to have to pay $1,800 and never get your storage?
You lose everything after 3 years.
It's all gone.
That would suck. To have a wipe. Or maybe they'll charge you a little less to keep it going.
It comes with a little countdown, and you can pull it down, and it's like, this is how many days you have left until all of your memory is gone.
Seriously.
It just counts down and that wipes it all.
What else do you guys think about this thing? Eric, you're a big Chromebook guy.
What happened?
That hardware looks awesome. That is what I wish my MacBook looked like. That looks slick.
Don't tell Steve Jobs that.
I got so excited when I saw that.
Too soon, Tim. Too soon.
Too soon. Not soon enough.
I don't know. Every review I've seen has said this is my favorite laptop hardware that I've used, but it runs Chrome OS. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably exactly what I would say too. I really wish that I could get that body with something else inside of it.
Oh, that body.
That's what you Yeah, it just looks awesome. It's just no one can really. It's just Chrome OS. It's really nothing that justifies $1,300.
If it was even $800.
That's what I said.
Yeah, something around there.
It definitely should have been under $1,000. I don't know what the hell Google's thinking. It's crazy. It's crazy. No one's going to buy the thing.
I'm sitting here, and this is what I've been doing the past few days. Is I've been trying to justify it, justify it so I can pull out my credit card and order it. But it just, every time I think about it, I can't get past the fact that I wouldn't be able to use it as much as I would use my MacBook because it just can't do as much.
Yeah, I mean, there certainly is a way to justify it, though. Because if you look at, if you're putting all of your stuff in Drive, which in theory you can do.
Yeah.
You don't have to back up, so that gets rid of that cost. So if you're using Dropbox or something else like that, you'd certainly be paying more for that. So if you can get away with just having, just using the browser and having all your stuff in there, it's justifiable in that circumstance. I don't think most people can do that yet. But for those few people, that is a cost-effective thing. So, and for more and more students, as more and more schools are moving to Google services and stuff like that, and I think it's a possibility. And when you look at that total cost, it's really not that bad when you consider all that.
I just think for a $1,300 basically laptop that can't do real photo editing except in crappy apps in a browser, and it can't do any video editing, I don't think whatsoever. That's a lot to ask. I know it's got a cool touchscreen, but
yeah, but photo and video editing are pretty niche things that people do. Most consumers aren't doing that.
Right, but for the price, it's like a premium price that you would buy a device
for. You should be able to do that if you choose to do that for $1,300.
I agree. Yeah.
Someone said it's like a dumb hot chick, like a brainless, really hot chick, kind of like that. That makes sense.
Maybe. For $1,300.
If you got rid of the, you guys were saying you would pay. Say you got rid of the storage. There's no Google Drive storage. How much would you pay for it?
$600.
I don't even need a terabyte of Google Drive storage.
No.
Yeah, I don't really either.
Yeah, that was the last thing on my list at considering purchasing a Pixel was how much Google Drive storage I get. I don't care.
Yeah. Well, because most people aren't putting that much data up there, but at some point that's going to be a reality. I've got my Dropbox account. I'm at about half with 100. Once I, have kids and stuff like that, and I'm starting to take way more pictures, I'm going to fill that up quick. So that and especially when we start getting HD video, where it's you're able to take really nice videos with that on your mobile device. That
Start spreading the love. Start spreading the love. I got like 3 Box accounts, 5 Dropbox accounts. Like, I don't need just a single one.
That's what I want. I want to have all my stuff all over the place.
Well, thanks to Android, you can have
storage.
all of those accounts on a single device and still be good to go.
That's true.
You know what I saw in the... Oh, go ahead, Eric.
Let's talk about the fact that it comes with Verizon LTE.
It does. I called it a Nexus, and no one agreed with me. I called it the Nexus that should have been, but it's not called a Nexus.
Well, people are just like, they was completely over their head. They're like, it's not even a Nexus device.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you like guys even like thinking this through?
Yeah, it's Google's basically saying like, this is the platform, this is how we want everything to be going forward. They just price it too high, which is like they do with the Nexus, except they price those low. So, anyways, it was sort of.
I saw that it came. Well, first off, I think it was Engadget that I think first tweeted that they had a review of the Pixel. I thought they were trolling for the first 5 minutes before I actually got the page up. I was like, "This, you can't be serious."
Yeah. Because
this went from debunked by everybody to completely real in the course of like a week and a half almost.
That was so crazy too, because I was like, this video is pretty well produced to just be some elaborate troll, like, and then all of a sudden it's real. Like,
it was one of the weirdest situations.
Yeah, that was really.
Yeah, and then go back and look at the post by the CEO who allegedly made it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a lunatic.
Yep.
Hey, sorry, Sergey. Totally dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah, and he did. That guy's getting sued to death. Yeah.
And then when I saw that it had LTE, I was like, "Oh, great! Not Verizon." And then it was that. I think was
weird.
the biggest thing to take out of this, that they had just kept this under wraps, or that Verizon had even too.
Yeah, Verizon. It's kind of weird.
And for me, it bodes well for the Nexus program because they're selling this through the Google Play Store, but if you buy it for a certain price, you can use the Verizon LTE on it.
Yeah, but just data, no minutes, no contract.
Well, that's true. That's just data, but
it's just data. There's no voice or anything like that. There's no 3G modem or anything. It's just LTE, I think. Well, I don't know. Is there a 3G modem in there? Or is it just?
I would imagine it's got to have drop back.
It's got to have that.
Ask MKBHD.
Interesting. Did he buy the LTE version, or did he just?
Get he might have just gotten the Wi-Fi. I'll ask.
Okay.
Probably.
Well, so Google's sending me one. I should have it any day now. Hopefully it's the LTE one, and I'll test it and see what's going on there. Yeah, that should be fun. I'm going to dedicate my life for like a week to the Pixel. The Pixel.
Good luck. Godspeed.
The Pixel.
The website's not going to get updated.
Yeah, it might be a little slow for the next couple of days as I Pixel. Yep. All right, let's talk about Mobile World Congress for a couple minutes. So we didn't go because, I don't know, we decided to spend lots of money on free Nexus devices for everyone instead of Mobile World Congress. But so we got some stuff announced. The Pad Phone Infinity. Ooh. The Phone Pad. We have the Pad Phone and the Phone Pad from Asus.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cute.
Yeah, the Optimus G Pro, which was sort of announced before MWC, but it's like really official or something now. The Samsung Note 8.0, which is Samsung's like ultimate troll device, I think.
Give it to me.
So NVIDIA and their Tegra 4 were kind of there. There's no actual devices other than the Phoenix platform and like some prototype stuff, just like CES. It's really kind of weird. HP announced a really crappy Intel processor-filled tablet that's $169. Huawei had nothing important, although they spammed up our inbox to try to tell us that it was important. And ZTE. Okay, so ZTE, did you guys see how they announced a phone running a Snapdragon, I don't even remember what the phone's called, running a Snapdragon 800, like the ultimate new Snapdragon processor. And then people started digging into the device and actually pulled up like benchmarks and stuff, and it was benchmarking like lower than the 600 processor and other old devices. So then people looked at like specs for it in actual apps that pull them up, and it may not even be running the 600. It might be like a Snapdragon S4 Pro. And Qualcomm came out shortly after their press event. It was like after ZTE's press event and said, no, they're probably got the 600 in there. They definitely don't have the 800. And so then ZTE, ZTE said, well, yeah, it's the 600. But then all these people did tests, and it definitely doesn't look as powerful as a 600. So we don't know if it actually has that in it. And we also think the RAM is wrong. They said 2 gig, and it may only have a gig of RAM. So they lied all over the place, and everyone was like, what the hell? It's the weirdest thing ever. And ZTE is trying to like gain our respect and
it's
trust.
Just a little typo. Just a little typo. No big deal.
It's pretty bad.
That's a language barrier. That's a slight misunderstanding.
Yeah. But trust us. Trust us in America. We're not spying on you. China is not controlling us.
Just kidding.
We don't know what's in our phones, though.
Yeah.
So what else?
Getting the wrong processor definitely proves they're spying on us.
Yeah,
Call up Obama.
Sign
Call up Obama.
There's
Let them know.
what else? But Mobile World Congress, you guys see any of that stuff? Do you guys follow any of it? Anything?
Man, there's not much coming out of Barcelona that has me interested whatsoever.
I think the only thing we missed was beer, wine, and food. I think that's all we
and
missed.
the sites and the European girls.
That's true.
But I can only care about that.
Yeah, that's only your area. The Padphone Infinity looks awesome. It's got a 1080p display and it does the docking thing. It's never coming here. Optimus G Pro will come here eventually, but it'll go to like Sprint only. Maybe AT&T, I don't really know. Probably shortchanging them. The Note 8.0. Okay, so Samsung was there. They announced the 8.0, the Note 8.0.
Yeah, how about that?
It's just like everything.
I got my pre-order in and everything. I'm ready.
I mean, everything that came out of Mobile World Congress has just been crickets. Like everyone's like, oh yeah,
that's
nice.
my new house phone.
The new house phone. Because the Note 8.0 can make calls in the international version. When it comes here, it probably won't. But over there, call it up, 8.0.
That's so interesting. It's
and you can make,
weird move.
Yeah, you can make calls on the phone pad, the 7-inch Asus crappy tablet. You can make calls on that. And you can't on that HP tablet, I don't think. That has Intel-powered dual core.
HP, what are they doing?
$169 for that bad boy.
Yeah. And that was
bad boy. Ooh.
In that Wall Street Journal article, they also mentioned that Google could be turning to HP as one of the manufacturers. It's like HP hasn't done anything good in like 2 or 3 years in the mobile space, besides destroying WebOS.
Yeah, we did that story, and I was like, oh, they might have taken some time to recoup their losses. They might try and do something good with this, and then just drop that $170 piece of crap on us. I was like, oh,
yeah. They're like, take that,
nothing's
Acer.
changed, obviously.
We can do worse than you.
You thought you were at the bottom.
Not anymore.
That's our spot. You can't kick us out.
It's that game of limbo.
Jeez.
It's the game of limbo that all these manufacturers are playing to see how low you can go, and they're doing it in all the wrong areas, I think.
We thought they're going to go low in price, but they're actually just going low in quality.
Low in quality. Yeah.
Well,
wrong way.
What I really don't get is NVIDIA. NVIDIA. So NVIDIA announced their sort of Tegra 3. Well, the Nexus 7, right? It was like that platform to make cheap, good tablets, and no one else has done it besides Asus and the Nexus 7. Like, HP put an Intel dual-core crappy chip in there, and we don't know what's in the phone pad. It's not a Tegra 3, I don't think. It's something else. I don't even know. So NVIDIA announced this whole platform to make cheap, good tablets, and nobody's doing it. And the only one that's successful is the one that did it.
Well, and the Fire, which despite the software is glitchy as hell, but the hardware is actually not horrible considering the price.
That's true. But that was like a OMAP terrible processor too, wasn't it?
But when it was released, it was not bad. So
OMAP, TI, forgot about those guys.
Yeah,
they're so done. I hope. Actually, I can't wait until we get like 6 months from now, and everyone can ditch the Galaxy Nexus that they're on 2-year contracts for, so they can get rid of that OMAP 4470 or whatever it is.
Still on that bad boy.
Yeah.
It's looking more like it until the S4 or the X phone.
X phone. We haven't mentioned the X phone. There it is. X phone.
Yeah, that was your weekly X phone mention.
X phone versus the Galaxy S4. What should we get? So we get lots of emails from our amazing readers that ask us like, what should we do? X phone or S4? We don't know anything about any of them, so we can't really respond. The HTC one's the only thing we know about. It's the super phone of the moment. The rest of it should be fun.
Yeah, that was interesting. Now that you bring that, what our readers send us, I was thinking we should do like a weekly Droid Life mailbag type thing where we take all the funny emails we get and share them. I thought that would be great because we get some good ones.
Get the fun bag.
If we do that, you're just gonna open it up to who knows what. That could be. You probably just opened it up actually. It's gonna be dangerous now.
It's gonna be fun. We'll just block out names and send us whatever. I want to laugh.
Yeah. All right,
So, yeah.
Mobile World Congress. Any last parting thoughts on that topic?
Nope.
No. We might go next year just to eat the food.
Yeah, can we
Drink
please?
wine. And drink wine, yeah. Falcon Pro hits 100K Twitter token limit. Drama of the century over the weekend. Although this is not news. It's happened to other Twitter apps as well. What do you guys think? Well, wait, we should say they updated the app today and released everyone's tokens. So if you had a Falcon Pro working app, you should probably update it like right now and get your token back before they're all gone again. What do you guys think, though? Are Twitter app developers foolish for not realizing this could happen? Is it sad? I don't know. Somebody weigh in on that.
Well, wrong.
Yeah. I do miss Twitter dearly. I'm wondering what is stopping developers from, like, say, releasing Falcon Pro 2 that is exactly identical and just throwing that on the market. I mean, are
you just like creating a different APK and re-uploading it and then getting another?
Yeah, like are there rules against? Because I mean,
well, I think there would be a rule, or else they would have just done that. I think Twitter doesn't allow it, and Google probably might not allow it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
But just rebranding it and coming out with a different app, and just say, hey, here's a slightly different UI. This is a totally different version of the app. Because I mean, there are plenty of Twitter apps out there that have like a light and a pro version. So I mean, are they stuck with the same token?
No, they're different. Because the developer for Falcon mentioned that the widget that he still has is different, and so is like a beta or something that was floating around. I think the token limit's different. So yeah, why could he come out with like Osprey Pro and just roll it out another 100K?
Just a different, yeah. Because I mean, at the end of the day, what Twitter's doing is absolute BS. It doesn't make any sense. It's terrible for developers. It's terrible for users. Yes, do the majority of users use the official app? Sure, but you're screwing over all those third-party developers that actually made Twitter what it is today. So,
but it does kind of make sense, right, from a Twitter business standpoint. All these people are using other apps instead of their own service.
So just tell developers, hey, charge double and give us half. Done.
That's true. If they just started licensing it or something like that, but they're not that smart. Twitter can't figure out how to make any money. So
no, and they could be doing that. And I mean, when you look at the stuff that I forget who's running it, but with app.net, where money's being distributed between everybody. Obviously, I don't necessarily want Twitter to move to that model, but they haven't even tried.
I am not going to pay app.net $5 a month or whatever just to be on another social site. I've read that, and I was like, they're paying for it.
But I think that obviously app.net has figured out a way to do that, and I mean, the Tweetbot is an app on iOS. There's a version of it for app.net. I forget what it's called. I think it's an AppBot or something. But that version has gone free because because app.net and the makers of Tweetbot have been able to work together to share profits between that, and so now that app is free on there. So I mean, there's definitely ways that Twitter could be working with third-party developers to be making money and making sure that those third-party apps are still out there and being supported and being used by users. But they just, I don't know why you'd want to do that. I mean, there are so many things that the idea of calling tweets, the Twitter bird avatar, all those different things came from third-party developers. Conversation View, what was third-party? Like, there are so many things, so many parts of Twitter. TwitPix, that was a separate company until Twitter rolled out their own stuff. I mean, so many integral parts of Twitter were not a part of Twitter originally. They all came from third-party developers, and Twitter's just categorically destroyed them. So it's a sad thing, but I hope that developers are able to do if they came out with like you said, just call it a different bird name and throw up a very similar app. So because it's not fair to those developers out there, because now he's stuck. He can't make any more money. He can't do anything else with it.
He shouldn't have made a Twitter app then.
Well, I'm glad he did. It's my favorite damn Twitter app.
Right?
Carbon. Get on that carbon.
And speaking of his app though, he said that he's sold about like 40K or something like that, and there's a 100K limit, so that means that his app's been pirated like crazy. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's 60K pirated versions out there. People could have used a token and just never given it back up, but that means there's a ton of people stealing
you download the same app to multiple devices that they own. It doesn't necessarily mean that that many people have pirated it.
Right, but it does mean that a lot have.
Yeah, there was
Welcome to Android, boys. We're cheap. We're cheap.
Welcome to Twitter and Android, buddy.
I don't know. I just never liked the idea of. I know that a lot of work goes into the apps to make the actual experience of the social network a lot better, but I've just never been into the idea of paying for a service that's already free. Like, I would rather just use the official Twitter app or use an app that's already free instead of paying 99 cents for a better looking experience. I'm just not into Twitter that much, I guess.
Yeah, but I think there are Twitter users out there that would be willing to pay,
and there are clearly 40,000 people are willing to pay for it.
Right. So, I mean, that said, I mean, I don't see why Twitter doesn't open that up and say, hey, if you want to pay for this, we'll give you your archive immediately. We'll give you some benefits from that or whatever, and then see if that gives them a business model that they can actually make money off of. Because right now they're not doing it.
They need to make an API for that stupid promoted tweets thing that they have in the official Twitter app, and then just say, hey, as long as you include this in your app, you're fine to go.
Yeah, but I don't want that in my third-party app.
Well,
I get a third-party app to not see that stuff.
I'm just saying that we're talking about ways that they can, share revenues, make money, that kind of stuff. That I don't know.
Boycott Twitter. It's the only way.
Boycott Twitter.
Or make a petition. Someone's probably already made petitions about it.
Well, there is. There's a Falcon Pro petition. No, there is, and it wanted donations. I think Falcon Pro guy, if you're listening, we love your app, but a petition that asks people to donate money to the cause, that doesn't really work.
Yeah, what cause needs money for that?
And a petition is not going to get Twitter to change their policy. It's been 7 months since they announced that. It's just not going to happen.
No.
It's unfortunate. It sucks. And Ron, you're exactly right. It's terrible for developers, and it's just terrible in general. Twitter's a bunch of meanies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But it happened to Tweet Lanes, and Chris Lacey had to stop developing that, and it happened to some Windows Phone 8 app, and there wasn't even an official Windows Phone Twitter app until now. And it
was just a Windows 8 app.
Oh, is that what it was? Windows 8? Yeah, and there was an official one, and Twitter still said, sorry, buddy. Yep, it sucks.
Yeah, and the only thing you can do is petition to become one of their recognized partner apps, which is only supposed to be for stuff like Hootsuite and stuff like that are looking at metrics and everything else like that. So you're basically screwed.
Obama's screwed when he wants to use his Twitter. He's screwed. Sorry, Obama.
If your Twitter app accesses timeline and direct messages and sort of emulates those core features of Twitter, they don't want you.
Yeah.
They don't want you.
They're like the early app store.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. The OG Razer Max Jelly Bean update on the way. Those of you that have that device, there's a soak test apparently happening someday soon. The invites went out. Yeah, the invites went out over the weekend, but update still has not happened, so we don't know what's going on there. But yay, Jelly Bean! Woo! That was after the leak that came out on Christmas Eve, or not leak, the accidental push by Motorola.
Yeah, I told my dad and my sister both have the Max, and I was like, yo, you should go download this. And my dad actually got it to pull halfway, and then it stopped, and then it just never came back. And he was like, well, what happened to my update? I was like, I don't know. Don't ask me. I thought it was coming out. So
yeah, I'm interested to see how many new builds ahead this new version is, because there's a ton of people stuck on that old one.
Probably 0.1.
yeah, probably.
They were just sitting on their ass the whole time, not even doing anything.
Yeah,
whoops.
probably.
Sorry, guys.
Yep. Let's talk about some apps and games real quick. If anybody has any. Tim, what do you got?
I have the Mokria Craigslist application that I wrote up earlier. I actually did not know how to pronounce that. I had to watch their promo video to figure out how to pronounce Mokria properly. Because I was like, Mokria? I just didn't want to make a mistake. I am a robot. So this Craigslist app, I mean, it's just like a regular Craigslist app, except it looks awesome. Basically, it's all with swipies, and it just looks really nice. It's just Craigslist, but it just looks awesome. And it kind of got me back into looking through Craigslist, for missed connections, and hey, I saw you at Starbucks the other day while I was blogging. You were really cute.
While you were reading the Wall Street Journal at Starbucks.
Yeah. I was thinking about Andy Rubin, and then I saw you. So.
Oh, man. It's getting heated.
So, yep. Macria Craigslist app. I wrote it up. I even did a hands-on exclusive video, so check it out.
Hands-on exclusive. Let's see. We talked about last week an app called Glovebox, which emulates Ubuntu, the sort of swipey launcher from the side. It's kind of a cool app. They fixed it, actually. There was a sort of freezing issue that was touchscreen lefty or touchscreen unresponsive. The guys fixed that. It's kind of a task switcher. I don't need to show you guys. You probably saw it. And then I've been using AnyDo. And I know AnyDo is not a new app, and I'm probably way late to the party on this.
Yeah, that was actually my app in episode 9.
I was going to say, I think Ron actually talked about this. So I'm totally addicted to it now. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why it took me so long, but it's like the greatest. It's not a note thing. It's like a to-do list.
Yep.
And I use it like crazy. And it does this cool little animation in the morning and goes like, plan your day, Kellen. And I go, okay.
I hate that. I turn that off immediately. It drives me bonkers. Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
But the widget's pretty nice too.
Oh, so you haven't even used the widget. I haven't even gone that far yet. It's got dash clock support. That's how I found it, and so it's on my dash clock. Dash clock mention.
Dash clock.
Yeah. Dash clock mention. There you go, people. Somebody brought up Pocket Cast in the chat. Pocket Cast
4.0, baby.
Yeah, Pocket Cast 4. It looks nice. I saw somebody on like CNET today write up that Pocket Cast 4 is awesome, but not that awesome, and I was like, come on, dude, it's a big update. Maybe that was The Verge. I can't remember. That's all I got for apps.
It's always going to be haters.
Oh, Pocket Cast. If you don't know what that is, it's a podcast app that looks really nice. We're in there. You just have to search for us. We're not one of those fancy, exclusively featured pocket podcasts.
We should be, though.
Gosh, you suck.
Start a petition.
Yeah, start a petition. I'll email them. And
WhiteHouse.gov petition.
Yeah, WhiteHouse.gov. I don't know. You guys got anything else? Apps?
No one wants to recommend the Google Settings app that just came out.
Yes.
I just saw that tonight, actually.
That's hilarious, actually.
It is kind of hilarious.
Yeah, because Tim wrote that up like yesterday morning or something, and it's like the other stories from the industry have come out like across the last 24 hours. Like, oh my God, don't be alarmed. It's just Google Settings, and
why are everybody freaking out? Like, why is it like a chill out post? Like, I don't understand.
I think everyone was just kind of waking up in Barcelona and just saying, oh crap, people in America have been talking about this. Don't be alarmed, readers.
I think you're right.
Yeah, it's just a little, maybe that time difference thing is kind of kicking in for people.
I'd really like to know if somebody emailed Engadget or The Verge and said, please help me, there's this new app in my app drawer and I don't know what's going on.
Google's hacking my phone.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. Anybody have any games? We haven't played any games this week. Doesn't seem.
I wrote up Robo 5 earlier this week. That was actually a really fun little game.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Robo 5, baby.
Yeah, what's Robo 5? Explain that.
You're this little robot guy, and it's a platform puzzle game where you start off at the bottom of the map, and it's a vertical. You have to go upwards. You have to climb up certain boxes and stuff. And I mentioned this in the post. If you ever played Catherine on Xbox or 360, and not a lot of people did, it was this weird, quirky platforming game, but it's exactly like that. Some reader or some commenter called me out on it. He was like, "This is a Catherine ripoff," and the poster obviously didn't read or didn't play the game, and I literally copied the sentence that I mentioned it and pasted it. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't read the whole thing."
I love when that happens.
Well, good job. So yeah, you've got to get to the top of the map. You slide boxes certain ways so you can get up, and some boxes blow up and some boxes electrocute you. It's pretty fun, and it looks really good, and it's free. So free's always good.
Too long, didn't listen.
Wow.
That's what people do to most articles. If it's longer than 3 paragraphs, or nope, skipping to whatever I think you did wrong.
Just kidding.
Try all for me.
Well, yeah, Ron, you probably get a lot.
Right, epic pieces. I read yours today, and I agreed full on, though. FYI, he wrote about the Samsung Google thing.
Can you normally not say that, Tim?
What did I do?
Nothing, never mind.
Say that you fully agree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is a first.
Oh.
Exclusive.
We never agree. According to sources.
Exclusive
Ron, yeah.
Nothing's been confirmed.
PSA, don't freak out. Tim just agreed with Ron.
No, who wrote up the Photoshop app, the new... Was it you? Did you actually play with it at all?
It's $5. No. I'm an Android user, dude. I ain't paying $5 for that.
What?
All right.
You just got on me last week for saying that. You can't say that.
Yeah, Eric,
Your
send him
app
a
wasn't
Google Play gift card.
$5. But no, well, I did get a tweet from someone saying that they got just the tablet version they already paid for to work on their phone, so there was no reason to buy a new app for their smartphone. And I was like, that's very interesting. So how about that? But no, I did not play with it, but I could, I guess, if you want.
I was just wondering if it's how comparable it is to something like Snapseed.
Oh man, I couldn't even begin to imagine. I mean, we're talking
I think
full-blown Photoshop, baby.
I think it's
All Photoshop.
I think it's pretty close to the tablet version, which is pretty advanced compared to something like Snapseed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's got the blur effects, like as if there's a sun there, and it adds glare and text overlay, and
Wow.
I'm not big into Photoshop. I'm sorry. I know Microsoft Paint really well,
Yes.
but yeah.
I'm gonna put some circles on top of this picture.
Does Microsoft Paint still exist, like in Windows
Yeah,
8?
dude.
Windows
Yeah,
8
it does.
Oh, hell yeah.
I use it
You can't
constantly.
get rid of that. You can't get rid of it.
That's the
Yeah.
only way to take screenshots, isn't it?
No, just
No.
a snipping tool, bro.
What?
Bro,
What?
so-
There's plenty of ways to take screenshots.
yeah, good old Photoshop. It was really $5, and yeah, if you have the tablet version, you have to rebuy the phone version, right?
Yeah, that's dumb. That's
That's
just
really
stupid.
Interesting move by Adobe. Adobe charges for everything ungodly amounts of money.
Oh my gosh, I wouldn't have Photoshop if it wasn't for being a student, getting mad student discounts or getting it for free. Holy crap, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's insane, which is why I don't use it.
It's worth it though.
Yeah. All right, what else you guys got? Or we should wrap up here and call
Let's
it a night?
let's wrap it up.
Oh, what do you got to do tonight, Tim?
Hey, mister, let's do the show early today. Don't even try getting on me about it.
Yeah,
About time.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll wrap up. So, not a lot on the horizon other than contests the rest of the week, everyone. So, make sure you join those, get free stuff. And then in a couple weeks, we got Samsung, and HTC will finally bring their phone to the market. Pixel coming today or tomorrow. We'll have some of that. Otherwise, it could be slow for a week, but we'll make it fun. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in again, especially early, everyone. Appreciate it. Droid Life. Peace.
Goodbye.
Adios.